I just want to quickly say this and get it out on this. Like Keith and me, our paths crossed because she was doing some digital content for this media and entertainment event called Fiki Frames. And as part of that, I had started this vertical called Frame Your Idea, where we get writers to meet producers. And Geet was entrusted with the responsibility of making content for that initiative and the conference and all of that. And so we went and pleaded to all the celebrities, कुछ बोल दो ना, कुछ बोल दो ना, कुछ बोल दो ना हमारे इवेंट के बारे में. So ऐसे एक celebrity थे महेश भट्ट. तो महेश भट्ट साहब ने ऐसे ही दे दिया, हमें कुछ बाइट दे दिया, because I was doing a show with him, so I had some access, and उन्होंने दे दिया. फिर हमने जो बनाया उनको दिखाया. Who's made this? I'd like you to tell that girl she's done a bloody good job. And that girl was Geet, and I was like I called up Geet that time, and I think this was 15 or 16, and I said, Geet, you know, Bhatt Saab has asked me to communicate this to you, and since then, मैंने बोला यार गीत के साथ टच में रहना पड़ेगा यार, ये तो बहुत ही talented लड़की है. So, thank you Geet. Yeah. So, we have a fantastic set of people here. Manoj, have you noticed they put all the eye candy in the center? हम दोनों को ऐसे side में रख दिया. Yeah. It's like a suddenly. Yeah. Suddenly. Okay. So all of y'all know, you know, what fantastic professional creds all of these people come with, especially me. And but we should not get into that. And I want to tell you all something very interesting about each one of them. And maybe we can get you to guess. One of these people here. One of these people here has made music videos with his own band. Can you guess who? One of these panelists have made a music video with their own band. Like legit music production has been done. He's or she's sung and featured and made music videos. Can you make a guess? Why would say Manoj? Though you're right. Manoj is one of them. You know, he's the only producer who can sing. और जब सेशन बोरिंग हो जाएगा ना तो मैं उनको मनोज को बेस्ट हैक की. मनोज आपकी आवाज इतनी बुलंद है, आप ऐसे भी.
This is from my first song, which I did. ए दिल अपने रास्ते खुद ही बना ले, करना है जो करने के कर ले बहाने. ए दिल ए दिल ए दिल ए दिल ए दिल ए दिल. I'm deeply inspired by Kishore Kumar. So Geet was for you.
Thank you. Keep that mic. We'll keep sharing this. मैंने आशीष का ले लिया. He won't get to speak now. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, we are part of a reality show as well, and someone from here has attended a music festival in Arunachal Pradesh called Zero Music Festival. Can you make a guess here? Music festival at Arunachal. That's like what he's been really passionate about. Bolo. Come on, quickly, make it. Ashish. Oh shit, did I just give it away? What a faux pas. Okay, now I'll just cut to the chase. You know, Lakshmi is a filmmaker, and when she made her first film, she decided to look like Anirudh and shave her head. And because she didn't want any unwanted attention on set, and she says that I rather have the attention to the frame and not the fade or something on those lines. So, and she's an actor as well.
So the story was somehow I was in front of camera. I modeled for good 10 years, and then every time I would go and present a story, they'll all say, "Arey, आपको modeling करनी चाहिए, क्या कर रही हैं आप?" I'm like, "नहीं, I want to be a director. This is my calling. I'm good for this." So it became such a headache. One day I was like, क्या करूँ? I just went and shaved my head. I think it was a shocker for my dad, my family, everyone, but I felt very light. I mean, then only for some time it was only the talent which was looked upon. Nothing mattered, but eventually people like that also. So there's no break.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Looks keep getting in the way. I know it. About Pallavi, Pallavi has basically trained Hrithik Roshan, okay? I say, all the film stars look to her for all training tips. She's an athlete herself, and she likes to call herself an athlete herself, and she likes to be, and you look the part also, okay? So, yeah, all this HRX and all that, yeah.
So if anybody goes on my Instagram, I'm not selling my Instagram handle, Hrithik Roshan actually likes my posts, huh? And I get like super amount of engagement the day he likes my post. And he appreciates saying, you are the only one who does all of this besides the Shan Khattar. And I feel like, kya bol diya yaar? And my posts get like the massive engagement and reach I need.
So, big round of applause to this fantastic panel. Okay. Geet has told me very clearly कि तुम्हारा काम है कि ये लोग झगड़ा करें और हमको ऐसा TRP वाला material मिले, which sort of surpasses even Arnab Goswami's ratings. So we are going to do that. To get that started, I want to ask you, Ashish. Ashish, you actually work for a company which is called Great Place to Work At, which gives credits to companies as to how good they are as a workplace. Okay. I am taking the cue to do that because the first thing to set context, we need to understand what is culture and what is comfort. So, because you're in the business of validating people's culture and comfort, tell us what is culture and comfort for you, and then I'll take this forward.
Hello? 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 Am I audible?
Check.
Hello?
Check.
Hello? Yeah.
Is this, you're audible?
Yeah, it's audible. So yeah, I'll talk about like what culture and comfort means for me first, and then maybe I can talk about how culture, how we look at culture at Great Place to Work. So for me, culture is something very in the moment, or you know what's going on currently. Let's say if I have to connect with somebody or an audience, I need to be part of that culture so that I can form that connect. Whereas if I look at comfort, it is something which has worked for me. Like if जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, let's go and have comfort food. Why we say that? Because it's something that has worked for you always. So something that has worked for you consistently, that I would say is comfort, right? Now if I talk about how we look at culture at Great Place to Work, so for workplace culture, we feel there are three components which makes up culture. First is the trust that anybody experiences in the leadership that they are working for. So trust is very important. Then comes the pride that you take in your own work. So that again forms a very big part of the culture that you experience. And the third very important thing is the camaraderie, or you know, the fun and enjoyment that you get working alongside your peers. So these three, I mean, we say are, you know, very core components of workplace culture at Great Place to Work.
Ashish just said what he feels is culture. What's culture for you? Or comfort as well. Tell us.
Personally, culture for me is something that anchors me. I feel I'm like a loose cannon if I'm not bound by anything. For me, my culture is my discipline in a way, and not in the strictest athletic sense, but I genuinely feel culture are those 3-4 things that kind of anchor you. Be it your love for art, be it your love or passion for creativity, be it the joy of reading, be it the joy of kind of traveling. So whatever kind of binds you and anchors you is in a way culture for me, defined for me. And I think number one aspect of culture for me would be discipline, because, and it's not just necessary for an athletic pursuit, but I think that is what defines success across the board for me. I mean, that's a parameter with which I also kind of operate when it comes to work. If anything is executed in a disciplined sort of a manner, I feel it sees the light of the day and it kind of wins some accolades as well. So, kuch karna or pouring yourself into it in entirety with your discipline, with your shiddat is what defines my culture. Comfort, anything that is devoid of friction. Whenever I can minimize friction becomes comfortable for me. I mean, I'll keep quoting examples of the parallels between the brand and the way I live my life and kind of general tenets of following life. People find it very difficult to eat clean, sleep on time, find a balance between work, life, etc., etc. I feel the moment you start kind of putting everything in a structure, where you are driven by passion, you're driven by discipline, and you can minimize those elements of friction. अभी अगर कुछ करना है, do you want to create an aura around it, need a car, need a driver, go somewhere, do this, do that, or you need to hire 10 people to execute a grand project, or do you want to just sort of jump the gun, figure out how can you do it yourself even if you don't have the working hands and legs? If the friction is minimized, I feel the whole process becomes very comfortable for me. So comfort for me is anything which is pain-free, which is devoid of friction.
Interesting. Let me go to Manoj. Manoj, you've run units for years, which are units are actually set of people, everyone doing a different task. Maybe a director is a creative person, maybe someone's doing a logistic task. And your job is to create a structure where a certain creative output comes out. Now you're at a very unique vantage place because you are dealing with creative people and you're dealing with people who are supposed to give you a very structured, measured output as well. How has your journey been on this, and what is culture? And therefore, over the years, like you've done what, like 30 years to more than that, I guess. More than that. What is culture and comfort to you after all these years?
So I'm going to give you all a little bit of my life journey because it's all about culture and hence comfort. So I come from a commerce background. I had no clue about filmmaking. And I happened to kind of visit a production house. At that time, there was no internet, nothing, right? So I was at XIC for a 9-month diploma. That was my only tryst with filmmaking. And that was a basic kind of course. So they gave us a letter to this production house, go visit a production house. And I came to Famous. And I landed up at Equinox. And I've been there since 33 years. Now, the culture of Equinox, which to me is almost like an institution. This commerce graduate becomes a filmmaker in full glory because of the culture of that place. So I started off by being a post-producer. Then they thought that I could direct. I had no clue about direction. I directed 90 commercials in 5 years. And then somehow they felt that, you know what, you come from a commerce background, you have been a director, and my career at that point as a director, after doing 90 commercials, sort of plateaued. I'd got married by then, I had my first kid. So they said, why don't you become a producer? We are in need for a producer. And therefore, I have been a producer with Equinox for 23 years now. And we made some of the best commercials with a combination of Ram and me kind of leading it at the time where creatives were given a full liberty and people wanted to put out creative ads because they were getting noticed. You didn't have social media at that time. That's when Happy Dent came out, and we're proud to say that it's one of the best TV commercials India has seen, with the man running and becoming part of the chandelier. So culture for me is very deep-rooted in the place where I work, and it has made me what I am. I was very different. I mean, if you would have seen me, I'd never be on stage doing any of this if you'd met me 33 years back. It has given me the confidence to be here. It's made me comfortable. So I feel that culture can make you comfortable. At the same time, it can make you uncomfortable. For me to last in this business for 33 years, and we are perhaps the only production house who has lasted for over 3 decades. I won't tell you how many years. And yeah, I mean, Famous has been pulled down. We have shifted to car. All of this has happened, and we are still here, touch wood.
Yeah. I am witness to at least 20 of them because I started my career trying to go and put, there was an era where you could take portfolio pictures, 4x6 snapshots. Yeah. Yes, and you could just go to Famous and drop your pictures with your phone number behind, and at every production house, and the receptionist would smile and say, yeah, theek hai. And we used to think the reception is the casting director because, and then they would see thappas, and now of course it's all like how many followers you have and all that. So that's a great arc that just goes to show how really old Manoj is. So he's the grand Ashwathama
On this stage.
on the stage also. Okay, Lakshmi, आप डायरेक्टर हैं और एक्टर भी हैं, प्रोड्यूसर भी हो अब, और क्या क्या करते हो जो हमें नहीं पता है अभी बता दीजिए बहुत कुछ करते हो okay so tell us what's you heard all three of them and what's your take on culture and comfort.
So I have also worked in corporates in between because media industry is not something which is going to give you secure income right from the start. So we all have our struggles. So when I started back in the day, I was a CA student school topper, you know, the conventional Iyer girl journey was there. But then eventually I got in front of camera, I enjoyed it, but I always wanted to be busy. For me, culture, comfort is about me, what I enjoy, and culture is about we as a team. So we always work in teams when it's about a single goal, right? Comfort बहुत कम होता है आपको घर मिलता है गाड़ी मिलता है comfortable हो गए beyond that is what is culture teamwork you rise above a lot of things in life that's where the real drive is I think comfort doesn't make your let's say you have certain tick boxes ये सब करना है या travel करना है ये सब करना है वो सब कर लिया. Are you going to be happy by just doing that? Your life ends there? No. There's more. Culture brings that fire, that vision for the entire team. I think discipline, like she mentioned, you know, it is that fire and passion every single day that culture has. And the discipline is very important in life because that's where the difference is. If you don't do that extra bit, if you don't have that fire, that madness, that passion every single day, you can't stand, you know, you'll be one of the many always. To stand out, don't try to copy somebody. That culture is your, it comes from the way you've grown up, right from the beginning, whether getting up in the morning, simple things, you know, having your meals on time, whatever it is. That discipline is your lifestyle. And you, when you come on a set as a director or producer, you bring that energy on set. So when I'm working on a set and I bring that energy and I'm working on the set non-stop, there's no way my crew is going to feel tired because I give it to them. So you bring that culture as a leader to your team. And if you want to succeed...
When you say give it to them means...
see, if you're... it just comes across. Like, you know, if you come on set, you're dull, okay, let's do a take, you know, it's not. You come on, your passion is there, they know that you're not wasting time. You say 9 p.m., 9 a.m. we're rolling, you roll at 9 a.m., people know you're serious about your work. So the moment you respect your time and you follow the culture yourself, the team follows it. So it's, you're leading the pack and you have to follow. Comfort is good for some time, it's good till certain age. Life में बहुत आगे बढ़ना है, तो culture follow करना है, and you have to create your own path, your own culture for yourself. That's what I feel.
इतना अच्छा ऑडियंस है सबके लिए ताली मारा. I really like this audience. Very nice, very nice. Okay, some of these members in the audience, some of the people who may watch this online later, they all may come in places where they have to generate kind of outputs from their teams or from their own selves. And sometimes that output is very creative in nature. My precise question, which I want to place to each one of you, is that we've heard the word discipline a lot of times recurring in each one's sharing. To get creative output of any kind, you are deriving creative output from your team and your team and your team and your team. How do you manage the yin and yang of culture and comfort? It's a very precise question. How do you, and please speak from a personal place of experience because that's where we will draw the most about this conversation. So, would you like to go for it, Ashish?
Hello. Hello. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about like how I feel creatively inspired or when I want to do some creative work, and then I'll talk about my team. For me, I think creative ideas actually don't happen when you want them to happen the most. Because you want to be creative, but it doesn't, you know, I need to be creative in half an hour. It's not going to happen. You need that space. And for me, personally, my most creative ideas come when, if let's say I'm working out in the gym without audio on. That's when, or if I'm taking a walk of an hour and just letting my thoughts come to me. I think that's the moments, or in the shower. So these are some of the moments where I have seen in my life. So if I need to be creative in the next 1 hour, probably I will you know, go for a walk for an hour and come back. And there's something which will come out of it. Or sleep over things. Even sleeping over things has helped me. So I think I need that space in my life where, you know, things come to me. I think there is this natural antenna that every one of us has that keeps on getting those thoughts. But you need to provide that channel for that to happen. It will not happen if you're too preoccupied with a lot of the other busy work or the other things that you need to do. So this is my philosophy for being creative. With the team, I mean, I know like this is what works for me, so I try to give space to the team for them to be creative, right? Not impose too many. Of course, you have to work within deadlines, but not being too rigid. And since I'm like I work for a legacy brand right now, so we do need to, of course, adhere to the brand guidelines or the overarching, tone of the brand, values of the brand. But for the team to function creatively, I think a loose definition of what we need to do, and then giving them that space to express themselves, So they have a loose definition and what the values and what the brand stands for, but then they are free to express within that light framework, if I can put that in some way. So yeah, that kind of works.
So framework, a place to express themselves. Again, they are clapping. Nice. Let me go to Pallavi.
Mera number. It's a very vast question. I'll see like how do I cover most aspects. The way Ashish was saying, he gets creative ideas when he goes on a walk or something. I get my creative ideas when I go for a long run. Usually I wake up at 4:30 in the morning और मेरे सारे messages लोगों को 5 बजे के अंदर चले जाते हैं. So,
You are that kind of person.
yeah, I'm that person. So my team, if they don't put their phone on silent and if it starts going tung, tung, tung in the morning, they know who it is without any kind of conjecture. So normally it's basically just sitting in the morning, collating all the thoughts and shooting out whatever I have to put people onto their path without me being required until like 9:30. At least they know their course is started out. And my ideas fall in order when I'm running on a long run or something. They literally stack in bullets. I'm amazed. I've actually started writing it in copy, coming back and recreating. They just come in bullets to me. It's amazing. Coming back to the culture part of it, for the creative thinking for my team, this is a practice which I've lately started. I've told them to not sit with their laptops, keep the chat GPTs and Geminis away, and just sit and enjoy. Actually explore what thinking feels like. Like genuinely use your brains, trigger some nerve cell somewhere to feel what thinking really feels like. They've been doing it. Culturally, it's all hands on deck. By nature, I'm a karma yogi. I just work for the joy of working, not for an outcome. That's what my brother says, who's a very advanced yogi. So I'm always with them. We kind of just sit and talk. Freewheeling brainstorming sessions, exploring ideas. I said reference nahi chahiye. Kisi cheez ka reference nahi chahiye. Let's just first think original. Because this has become such a established practice. Pull a reference, copy it, deliver. Pull a reference, copy it, deliver. This is not taking us anywhere except becoming mediocre in our delivery. So references aside, ChatGPT, Gemini aside, we just sit down in a very analog sort of a way. We just talk like humans, we connect like humans, we pull out insights like human. आज क्या किया, इसका outcome क्या हुआ, let's just think like that. So if I have to think of a creative campaign with my team around a 60 minutes fashion delivery platform. So we actually sit and genuinely dissect कब कपड़े चाहिए होते और कब नहीं होते cupboard में. Let's identify those use cases and let's make commercials on those. And they turn out to be good because they turn out to be real. People can relate to those situations. So this has become the culture where we kind of sit. And the third most important part of establishing this culture, besides hands-on deck is celebrating every victory. So even the smallest campaigns that we have nailed or smallest little thing, smallest little victory in our bouquet, we have gone out and celebrated. So my team knows what real joy feels like when you actually twitch your nerves, twitch your thinking, come up with genuine ideas, and when it feels victorious, how does the victory feel when you celebrate? So it's the complete arc.
Beautiful, beautiful. Lakshmi, you have just been given an assignment. You're leading a team. Now, I think somehow we are doing a disservice to this conversation by just saying creative output. I think it should just be an output because every output is creative in some way or the other because you're solving a problem and you're creating a solution. How do you go about, or how do you think we can get the best output? And how do you figure your space between discipline and freedom?
See, as a filmmaker and a producer sometimes, I don't produce all my content, but I also started YouTube back in 2017 when I didn't know A, B, C, D of YouTube. So first when I thought about entire process of being a filmmaker, I was alone. I was all alone and I said, okay, I want to make films. Now how do I do it? I had no idea about YouTube. I said, let's make, I was working in Dubai for IBM around the time because the comfort was there. I was getting really good money, tax-free, but there was some calling which was missing in life. So I was looking for it. I did not know the answer, but every morning I'll feel restless. Like, I think we all run. I used to run back then. I don't run now. But one day a thought came that, I think I should direct a film. I have been behind camera as an AD and production assistant. I've worked as a, I think I'm ready. So let me write a story. And I wrote my first draft. And then I said, okay, someone should write the screenplay for this. I found somebody. And then eventually I ended up making the film. I used to travel from Dubai to India on the weekend. And my bosses were very supportive. I would come down and I finished making the film. Now the idea is when you're making a film from comfort perspective, it's you want to watch the film from your side. But ultimately it is the audience, who has to like it. So I was learning it in the first film कि आपको जो अच्छा लग रहा है बहुत बढ़िया है पर जो देखने वाला उसको बढ़िया लगे कोई मतलब नहीं है फिर you can't be your own audience for anything in life, okay? So you have to understand when it becomes whether it's brands or films. As a filmmaker, I'm making it for an audience, but there's a voice that I have which I want to present through my films. So पहली बार जब फिल्म किया तो फिल्म अपलोड करना भी मैंने पहली बार YouTube में खुद सीखा, बहुत कुछ समझ भी नहीं आया पर कर दिया. The fun story was that the film did well. It was called Appa, and eventually second time I made a film called Wrong Mistake within 6 months with Achint Kaur and Sushant Singh, and the film hit its first 1 million in life. For me, it was like a big deal. I said 1 million, wow, people are liking it. I used to read the comments, everything. I was learning slowly. But I have a brother who's very critical of my work and who keeps saying, okay, this is not enough. You should do, he'll give me a goal every time, I'm the youngest sister. So it became like, okay, 1 million is okay. Isn't there 10 ho jayenge, the baat karenge. So, it was like that. So I think we all have critical parents or siblings. So then around the time, the next film that I did called Season with Love had organically hit 100 million views. It's 132 million views today as on date organically. And I don't know, I've always believed in making good content, but I've realized the audience is very smart. If there is love and heart and you understand the audience and you find the connect. So slowly I built my team. I would hire new people also. I don't expect them to be at my speed in terms of thinking or working. I'm willing to teach them. I ensure every time I make a team, there are interns who know nothing. And I'm okay, but they should be ready for the grill. There's no easy way here because we are all tough on you because ultimately it's going to help you. So culture is, I'm going to give you the learning, what I know from my side, because a lot of us don't teach. We all know, but we end up not giving it back in the right way. And that's the problem because you thinking fast doesn't mean the other person can understand the same way. So you have to have that empathy and also the understanding that probably your generation was different, this generation is different. They think about money first and then the job. So you have to find the connect somewhere, but then we are the other side, right? We are the more experienced one. I still tell everyone that culture and the way you approach, the heart should always be there. I tell the brands also that, please dil se kaam karna, dil se kaam kiya gaya kaam kabhi bhi fail nahi hota hai. आज नहीं तो कल आपका comment section बता देगा कितना प्यार मिल रहा है. So then I've made about 11 films now. The last film came in Mami called Aloo Bhujia with Ranvijay Singha. So that did really well. And then now another film I've shot for a father and son with Apurva Asrani has written the film and he's edited and produced also. So the right thing is start from YouTube also. In COVID time, I also learned a course on digital marketing because मुझे समझना था मुझे जो नहीं आता है.
Okay, to precise this, my question I'm going to remind you so that we just make it more precise for the audience is that you're telling us how you do what you do. What I'm asking you is that how do you get the best creative output and how do you dance with discipline and freedom?
So you hire the team, Viraf, it's like you make your team. I have a choice of picking up experienced people. Let's say I understood sound design better after the first film because they goofed up in the sound design. It did not match with the, the visuals. So I learned and I got better. So hiring the right people is very important. At the same time, hiring new people for the job, it's very important again because they bring new ideas. The youngsters have speed on few things that we don't have. So you have to appreciate and learn from them too. So I think it's a mix. So I find it's the right mix. It's always about hiring, and with time, I think Manoj will agree, with experience, you know, when a person enters for an interview or a meeting also, what they can bring on table in the first 5 minutes or 10 seconds sometimes. So it is the drive. I think a youngster should have, kids should have, want to learn, want to give, have that thought. We all are ready to take. We always need new people. We are always less of people. You know, we want new people coming in, joining the team, and making a difference. No, we alone are zero. I cannot make a film alone as a filmmaker.
So a balance of experience
Yeah.
and
And the new
fresh-
ideas are, I mean,
fresh
they are
ideas.
digitally very strong. They do things in 5 seconds what we probably do for next 2 hours. And we accept it, you know, humbly. So we accept it because their ideas are very good. The kind of reels they make, there is no way we can think about it. So, you know, I appreciate that, but at the same time, it's a little money-driven generation. So, which is sad because money will come if you do good work. That's what I feel. That you should understand.
ऐसा बोला जाता है.
I want to just add to what Lakshmi
Yeah.
said. She said a lot of us don't teach, don't pass on. I'm a strong believer of passing on, and how one of these, the experience that you garner over the years kind of helps. My very first shoot with Ritik at HRX, there was a bench, it was gym sequence, he was supposed to sit, come, work out. Someone entered who was way more experienced. He said, ये Ritik नहीं बैठेगा, बहुत ऊंचा है, और pose ठीक नहीं आएगा, हटाओ. I was in awe. I said, how do you know this? He said, this is what I know from experience, because ये ऊंचा है, वो नहीं हो सकता, curl नहीं होएगा, and it will not turn out nice, the angles. Few years down the line, same setup, I was with my team, we were doing a shoot, the bench was there. I said, ये bench हटाओ, pose नहीं आएगा. I was like, shit, I've arrived in life, I know it now. And my team looked at me with the same amount of awe, saying, आपको कैसे पता ये नहीं होगा? I said, 2 घंटे बचेंगे, हटाओ. That's what happened. Like, this is what experience brings to the table. You can intuitively guess a few things, and you can kind of save time and move on quickly, I feel.
So mentorship should be part of the culture.
Yeah, very important.
Perhaps, yeah. Manoj, अभी आप भी बताइए ताकि ये लोग ताली मारे.
No, like I said in the beginning, mentorship is integral to Equinox, you know, in the sense that every single person who works at Equinox has become something in Equinox or outside of Equinox. They have either started production houses, like there's a trainee, Ria, who's my other producer. She joined as a trainee. She went on to become the producer she was the DA on Neerja, the feature film. She was the producer on Arya. She's produced multiple ads. And it's all about sort of rubbing shoulders and spending time with Ram, me, and just being part of the same culture. You know, that is so important. And for us, actually, pretty much there are no boundaries because we never need to define it. It's just given. It's osmosis. You know, you come in, you know what this place is like. We're not like-minded, we're like-hearted as people. So that is very, very important. And that is what this space is all about. And, you know, I have freelancers coming in and working with us because obviously you can't have everyone in-house. When they go outside and when they experience something and when they come back, and these are very reputed, big freelancers, they say there's no place like you guys. Because what you bring to the table, the kind of atmosphere, I believe she just shot with us, I didn't know, a couple of months back. There were 300 actors on set. Every single one of them was respected. There is a space. I hired a separate studio, which is very expensive, okay, to just make the actors comfortable. There were some 10 makeup stations. She knows all this. And there was a separate tent for actors. There was a workshop being conducted. And all of this had to be shot in a day. So we actually created a day of rehearsals with all of them, with key props. All of this is part of our culture, you know, in the sense that we need to sort of plan it to the T so that everybody is having a comfortable time when they come to our shoots. So we're not organizing shoots, we're hosting shoots, and that's part of our culture. And that's what we've been doing.
That distinction of that word is so beautiful, that you're
Yeah.
not organizing a shoot, you're hosting a shoot.
Yeah,
where
you know, I mean, we discuss it like anybody, whether it's a client or an actor. It's like a wedding for us, you know. and there's no way you cannot have a table for them to calmly sit down and eat food or sit. Like Ram sort of insists that you have, if there are 300 actors, you will have that many number of chairs. So if they ever want to go and park themselves, they can.
Beautiful.
So this is all part of the culture. And sorry, I'll just take one more minute on this.
Please, please.
I wasn't part of it, but on Nirja, for instance, there's always a push and pull of money.
Yes.
And we were sort of just getting into the filmmaking business. And we were not the producers, but we were executing the thing. When it started, it didn't have what it did later, which is that it was in the middle of summer, and they actually pitched. There were some, I think 300 or 400 passengers in that plane. And for each of them, there was a space to sit, eat. Washrooms were made for that many number of people. It was an open ground where a whole aircraft was made to almost the right size, with air conditioning in the aircraft, with loose, which earphones. It was a Pan Am flight. So all of this was done out of, Ram said, I'll pay it out of my direction fee. But I need every single person on the crew and actors to be comfortable.
Wow.
And we maintain that everywhere.
Yeah, so here's a sort of politically delicate question. You know, I was shooting for a show which is based on one of the Tata brands, and it's journey for that. And all the actors were lined up, and because we were representing one of the Tata seniors, each of the actors, the employees wanted to ask us how did we feel playing their bosses and all of that kind of interaction. And I ended up asking them that, why does the brand Tata, I don't know if you all agree to this, but Tata feels like a very different corporate brand compared to everybody else. Somehow we tend to trust Tata a little more. कि ये Tata का होगा अच्छा होगा.
Correct.
पहले मुझे लगता था कि ये सिर्फ मैं पारसी हूँ इसीलिए मेरा एक bias है, पर मैं actually जब बड़ा हुआ बॉम्बे में आया, and I saw that everybody feels like that. And they said that it's got to do with the leadership, because when we hire, we make sure that there's no ego in the person, however talented he is, so that he will, if he's lacking ego, then there'll be empathy and he will find. And that they have a saying that Jamshedji Tata said that purpose of enterprise is not profit, it is to benefit society. And that is sold. That is, thankfully, mere pe taaliyan baj gayi, like, but it is what you all should be.
One more round of taaliyan for it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's telling us what to speak.
Now, yeah. So this is truly that sort of, I came back very enriched with that conversation. Now all of us will be at some places. Sometimes we are the leadership, and sometimes we are working for a leadership. And all of you are in those different places, right? Sometimes the culture of the leadership is not your culture. How are you all navigating those situations personally? You don't have to take names. I'm not asking for gossip. Maybe I am. But how do you all, because that's really what we need to discuss, right? Like, my boss doesn't want me to feed all the people who are coming here, but I want to give them this, I want to do this for them and all of that. When there is a clash of culture between you and your leadership, and you are responsible to a certain food chain beneath you, how do you respond to those situations? And please, if you all can share as candidly as you can, it'll be lovely.
I think I've been very lucky in that sense, because there is a certain open-mindedness, you know. Ram and I have spent all these years together. Of course, there have been fights. Of course, there have been ups and downs. Okay, we've survived through all kinds of eras, right? We were in the tape era back 35mm to begin with, then tapes, then digital, and now AI, right? How do you keep going? So there is a certain amount of discipline there, but you are sort of allowed to spread your wings and fly as well. And sometimes, you know, differences of opinion really help, because not that, I mean, he's more experienced than I am, but sometimes he, especially now, he will always ask me for my opinion, you know. And sometimes he will tell me, no, Manoj, you're wrong on this, sorry, I disagree with you, and I respect him for that. So I think that little noke joke, which is there,
That friction, as we call it.
is really important because that's when you get the right output. Because you cannot just depend on हाँ जी, or he says, yeah, good job, but पीछे से वो गाली दे रहे हैं. You know, for instance, it's very open. And when you have this sort of open atmosphere over there, you can really grow as a human being and you can allow others to grow. And that is what it is. A strange thing, okay? When I came to Equinox back then to just visit a shoot, okay? And I went to another production house, I won't name it, in Famous, because Famous was a hub of production houses. And I attended these two shoots. And Equinox, there was no gali galoch, okay? The second one was full gali galoch, okay? I decided that I want to come in and join Equinox.
For those who don't know Gali Galoch, sorry, we can't help you.
Abusive language. Okay, anyways. So, to date, okay, not that I came to this company and therefore I don't do gali galoch, but it happens around you all the time, right? So, in my lifetime over here, if I'm traveling by car and if I'm really upset at someone, which I rarely am, and if I use the F word, my producers look at me as if like, what have you done? You know, you have done something which you've never done before, so you're really upset. So that is all part of the sort of culture, and it's not something which we've defined ever, right? Like we did have a welcome book.
So tell us the main thing now. How do you deal with the collision of thought with Ram, your leadership partner, etc.?
Oh, I became, जैसे I keep saying, you know, मैं कल्लू से कालिया बन गया. Because he's so overpowering as a creative that the only way I could have survived was by staying calm. So I used to go and like rant to my wife or, you know, sometimes to my co-producers. But I really respect him for all the, you know, sort of things he put on to me. And he's the person who actually started this thing about not organizing shoots. And when you're doing it at that time, arey yaar, shoot khatam karna yaar, what is all this? But today I really respect him for that because that is what actually made a boy a man. You know, it's the unsaid things around you which actually are the most said. People really love that about us. What time lagta hai samajhne mein. But when you're going through it, it's like a mother-in-law who's like hammering you, and it's like, तुमने ऐसे कर, तुम ये क्यों किया, तुमने वो क्यों किया, ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हो तुम? No, so but it's all part of it. If you're really open-minded and you are calm about it, and you're not always wanting to have a confrontation, you will reach here.
Okay. I'll tell you all the truth. There is a vibrator in my chair, and every time I'm going overboard with time, it starts vibrating. So, Maddie's got the button here. So, that's why the special moderator chair. And listen, but we have time to take your opinions crisply. Please tell us, when you are in collision with your leadership or maybe the team culture, the people above you or the people below you, there's a collision. How do you navigate that in your own ways?
You know, I've thoroughly evolved because I started my career as a middle management, then I've grown till I became leadership, and now I run my own company. I learned from the culture of my company and became one with it, surprisingly. Because before this, I've been in the industry for many, many years. I started my career with IBM as a drop in the ocean. That was the culture of IBM. I worked with Tatas. Truly, truly people-first organization. What you said makes the difference is the fact that they start with people, they end at people. They don't start with money, they don't start with commerce, they don't start with projects. It's always about people at the center. So people centricity is what makes Tata what it is. I was also with Reliance. People pleasing is something that made me quit and run away. When I joined here, I again identified an organization which was people first. In fact, the conversations that I used to have with Afsar was about, forget all of this. I'll give you the autonomy, you work. But that doesn't mean it will not come with supervision and it will not come with checks or it will not come with criticism. The only time I retorted back saying, don't call it criticism, call it feedback. We'll have a loop going. He would say, forget all of that. Tell me, what is your dream? I was like, who's this person who's talking to me about my dreams? And honestly, when I sat down to think, I couldn't articulate what my dream is. Like, I didn't have one, possibly. And then every time we used to sit for appraisals, year after year, cyclically, it's like, just find out what your dream is as an individual. So that organization, everyone is goaded in the direction, my organization, to identify and articulate what their dream is. It may look like a car, it may look like a chair, it may look like a cabin, it may look like something, but at least run with a dream.
It may look like Hrithik also.
Perhaps. And eventually, it's not just that individual suddenly who's sensitized to knowing what their dream is, but the forces are working towards securing that dream or fulfilling that dream. And it changes the dynamic. The pressure is no more pressure, it's passion, right? So this is what I learned and I evolved. And now today, I work, or rather I babysit an army of Gen Zs. Any Gen Zs in the room? Sorry, don't hate me. But I literally babysit them every day. And I've become so calm along with my 2 children and the rest of my team. I think I'm a new person. Sometimes when I yell, when I lose the plot, when I come out in the pulpit and I scream, people are like, Pallavi, tum ye bhi karti ho? I was like, मैं सब करती हूँ. Just wait for the bad time to come one day. But it's taught me a lot. This is how we manage. And you just go back and you think, saying, okay, so-and-so is behaving under a certain sort of a framework. Discount that, let's find a solution. Rather than focusing on the problem, let's find the solution approach. So,
Super. Can you all finish your sharings in
So,
1
you know,
minute?
I've always been an independent producer most of the times, or work with the producer solely as a director. The first time I worked with another producer, equal producers, on the current project. I've always believed I'm very good with deadlines and I'm very disciplined in terms of deadlines. So after we shot the film and we edited the film, it came out really well. So we somehow realized the festival dates are starting immediately now. Vicky, we missed right now. So, but then we have to rush through, and you know, there's Diwali coming, but 21st we want to finish the film. Now, in between, the music composer fell sick, okay? So the co-producer, the producer with me, Apurva Asrani, he pushed me so much extra. You know, I thought I'm anyway great in terms of following a discipline, but this time I learned from another person that sometimes the pressure of creative people, you know, for the right reasons, makes you find something that you probably didn't even know exist.
So crack the whip
they push
when you
extra.
have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Crack the whip when you have to. Ashish, do you whip people? Like, how do you do?
No, I don't do that. But I do have to let people go once in a while when it doesn't match the culture of the team. That is something I do.
What is your version of cracking the whip?
Letting people go. I mean, I think it's. I think if I look back on the people that have gone, they have also gone on to do better things with their time. So I think when it's not a match, it's not a match. And even I have left places myself when it's not a match. But one thing in the interest of time, which I will say, what has changed my viewpoint on a lot of things when there is a clash is, if you can reframe the question. For example, there was one boss of mine early in my career. There was something that I told him, I'll do it in 6 months. But he said you have to do it in 1 month. So then suddenly I asked the question that, how can I get it done in 1 month? I still took 3 months, but I did not take the 6 months. So I think if you reframe the question, right, when there is a conflict, I think a lot of things can get solved, is what I have seen in my career. Yeah.
All right. Before we summarize, Maddie ma'am, do we have 5 minutes for a quick Q&A with the audience? Yeah. Do you all have curiosity? Do you all have questions to ask? Should we just wrap up? If you all have, oh my God, Geet, you are not allowed. You have. Okay, please ask your question. Wait, can we get a mic to the lovely Geet and our audience members who may want to ask questions? We have a mic here, extra mic. We can take it from one of these. Take Manoj's mic before he sings. Yeah, we will not let you.
So I have a question.
It's not working. You want to use my mic?
No, you just straight off. Yeah, got it. So I have a question. My question is, culture. I have heard you guys, and the most common thing that I've been hearing is culture comes with a cost. apparently. Either it's your energy or it's your money, something or the other, right? So I want to know from you guys, which one would you choose, or which one do you choose more often, and or is it both? And how does it work? Because the real question is, yeah, of course, we all have the story of the end goal and where we have reached and what you guys are doing, because of which you are here and you're, able to share the journey. But the real fight is, what are we not doing, guys? There is something that we have to speak, we have to share. So that cost is what I think I would love all of us to know. It must have.
It's very interesting what she's saying, that culture, you can tom about culture and then हमारा culture ऐसा है, हमारा culture वैसा है, but it comes at a cost either of, like she says, money or energy, exhaustion. How do you deal with that?
My white hair and my lack of hair. That's the cost I had to pay.
Yeah? Like earlier, 33 years back, you had full hair.
I'll show you a photograph.
I believe.
I was not born like this.
Okay. And she also had to shave off her hair. It seems to do a lot with hair.
Filmmakers का ऐसे ही होता है. या तो खुद गंजे हो जाते हैं या लोग गंजा कर देते हैं.
या लोग गंजा करते हैं. आपकी क्या है?
I think मैं 4:30 बजे इसीलिए उठती हूँ और भाग लेती हूँ. कहीं तो एनर्जी वेंट आउट होनी चाहिए ताकि गलत जगह ना निकले. So it's very important. Culture, like you said, boon and bane. बहुत comfortable हो जाते हैं जब सब कुछ मिल जाता है अच्छा. तो काम, mediocrity, no innovation, पड़े हुए सब, paychecks are coming on time. So then sometimes you need to crack the whip and you have to figure how to make it work. But for me, energy over money. Salaries to time pe deni hai, so money can't be compromised. But I've lost both. Energy I constantly keep losing, so I harness more.
Okay. Lakshmi, you have a quip?
Yeah, so comfort is good till a point, and then you have to grow. For that, culture is needed. Extra effort लगता है, please करो ना, क्यों नहीं करना है? अलग कुछ करना है लाइफ में तो डालो उसको ना, तभी आगे अलग रहोगे जिंदगी में.
Put it in. Ashish, money or energy?
I mean, there is one line that we typically see at Great Place to Work, that culture eats strategy for breakfast and lunch. I think in terms of culture and comfort should sit at the dinner table together. I think that's when something meaningful can come out of it. That's what I feel. Yeah.
Profound and appetizing. So profound. Okay, maybe one question before we sneak in. Does anyone have a question? Oh, can we get sir a mic if possible?
मेरा नाम आशीष बलाल है.
जी.
ओके. मेरा क्वेश्चन लक्ष्मी जी से. एक्चुअली होता क्या है, मैं पहले अपना इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहता हूँ. मैं 10 साल मैंने यूटीवी में निकाले अपना.
किसमें निकाला?
यूटीवी मोशन पिक्चर. आई वाज वर्किंग विद रॉनी स्कूल वाला. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब आप किसी टीम में काम करते हो, ठीक है, तो बॉस का एटीट्यूड होता है कि वो जो सोच रहा है, या डायरेक्टर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ले लो तो वो सही है, लेकिन उसकी टीम में कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि वो चीज़ सही नहीं है, कि वो चेंज होना चाहिए. तो ऐसा आपके साथ भी हुआ होगा बहुत बार. तो उस कंडीशन में आप क्या करते हो? क्योंकि मैं इसलिए पूछना चाह रहा हूँ क्योंकि
मैं बिल्कुल भी एडमेंट नहीं हूँ कि मैं महान हूँ और मेरी ही सोच परफेक्ट है, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. आई एम वेरी ओपन टू द आइडियाज़. आई बिलीव इन टीम वर्क. सो मैं सुनती सबकी हूँ. विजन एक रहता है डायरेक्टर का, हमेशा होना चाहिए. एंड आई फील दैट विजन कैन नॉट हैव मल्टीपल थॉट्स. यू कैन हियर एवरीवन बट द फिल्म कम्स आउट विद वन विजन, क्योंकि वॉइस एक है और वो हमेशा रहनी चाहिए. आई थिंक तभी फिल्म ठीक बनती है.
मैंने ये क्वेश्चन इसलिए पूछा आपसे क्योंकि होता क्या है, जैसे मेरा एक्सपीरियंस था या हमारी टीम का था, कि अगर आपको कोई ऐसा बॉस होता है या डायरेक्टर या प्रोड्यूसर जो नहीं सुनना चाहता. अभी आप पैनल में बात कर रहे हैं तो अच्छा लग रहा है, लेकिन ना हमने इंडस्ट्री में 20 साल काम किया है. हमने हमेशा ये देखा है कि अगर सेट पे डायरेक्टर ने बोल दिया प्रोड्यूसर ने, वो टेक्नीशियन हो या दूसरे लोगों को बोलते कि मतलब इतना नहीं सुना जाता. ये प्रैक्टिकली हमने देखा है.
हाँ, so this we have discussed that you have to crack the. इसका जवाब आ चुका है. ये हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं.
तो मैं इसे पूछना चाह रहा था कि डायरेक्टर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से.
तो मैं इतना ही ऐड करूंगी, जैसे इवन जब स्क्रिप्ट आती है मेरी स्क्रिप्ट सब टीम को जाती है. अगर साउंड टीम भी एक मुझे बताता है कुछ, दे फील अ प्रॉब्लम इज देयर, आई डू इट इन प्री प्रोडक्शन. आई मेक श्योर आई लिसन टू पीपल एंड इफ करेक्शन हैज टू बी मेड, आई डू इट. बहुत ज़रूरी है. मैं एडमेंट नहीं हूँ और एडमेंट किसी को नहीं होना चाहिए, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम सबकी सुन के सबको खुश करने का भी एक फिल्म ऐसे नहीं बनती है. आई बीन एडी, आई बीन बिहाइंड कैमरा, आई हैव सीन द ग्रिल. मैंने भी वो सब झेला है और मैंने वो सब ना करने का फैसला किया जो मेरे साथ हुआ. सो आई डोंट, मैं अदर साइड में मैंने भी आई हैव बीन थ्रू द ग्रिल. सो मैं वो नहीं करती जो गलत है. आई ट्राई टू क्रिएट इन द राइट वे इन माई टीम. और फीडबैक सबका बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन विजन एक है फिल्म में.
और सेट बदलने की ताकत है तो सेट बदल दो, उन लोगों के साथ काम ना करो अगर है. Last question, guys. Last question. We have a last question. Shraddha, you last question. How dare you?
Hello, hello. So, just to wind up, I mean, I have a very good question, which is it possible to work 9 to 6 in the creative industry?
That's a very precise question. Is
Shall
it
I
possible or is
answer
it
that?
is it possible?
No, you can. Okay, you definitely can. But you need to decide how you spend that time. If you want to work 9 to 6, you definitely can. Most definitely can. ऐसा नहीं है कि you have to stay awake till 1 o'clock in the night. COVID taught us so much, right? It taught us work from home, all of these things. If you plan your day, most important, which all human beings do, especially after COVID, is procrastination. You don't compartmentalize your time. You compartmentalize your time into 30 minutes. Every 30
Is it called
minutes.
time blocking, as they
Yes,
call it?
you do that, and you see that you can finish in 9 to 6.
So is effectively she's actually asking, can you have work-life balance in a creative
Of course,
industry?
100%.
And the answer is time blocking, Shraddha. If your boss doesn't agree, teach them time blocking.
So if you're working on the other side, you can. As you grow, you cannot. I promise you.
Yeah.
You all think work-life balance is possible?
Yeah. Obviously, it's absolutely possible. There are bad days. Deal with those bad days with a lot of fervor. But I think it averages itself out. साल में 365 में से 280 दिन तो 9 to 6 ही होता है भाई.
हाँ.
4:30 to 6.
और तुम क्यों
मेरा तो बात भी
तुम
चलता
क्यों ये
रहता है.
सवाल कर रहे हो? तुमने तो वीकेंड पे जवाब नहीं दिया. तुम तो दिन में भी जवाब नहीं देते हो. तुम क्या सवाल?
Now you know why the question came up.
Why? तुम तो already follow कर रहे हो अपना balance. पूछ क्यों रहे हो? So guys, this has been lovely and thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Pallavi,
Thank you,
Lakshmi, Ashish.